Hello friends, how are you? Hope fine. Today we are going to start with our new topic from the autocoid family, that is serotonin. So it is also known as 5-hydroxytryptamine or 5-HT. So regarding this, the learning outcome upon completion of this session, the learners will be able to define and differentiate, describe the sources, synthesis and metabolism of 5-HT. They can very well define or describe the source from where the 5-HT is coming, how it is synthesized and how it is metabolized. They can differentiate the different types of 5-HT receptor and their actions on the body system. Then they can predict the pharmacotherapeutic applications of 5-HT and their analogs, and they can explain the mechanism of the various drugs which are act as an 5-HT agonist and antagonist. As far as the serotonin is concerned, 5-HT, as far as the history is, of that 5-HT is identified as a vasoconstrictor substance which is present primarily in the blood. It is also known as a vasotocin or serotonin. In 1952, it was found that acetone extract of intestine was termed as an enteramine. One of the scientists has extracted the part of intestine and through the acetone, and he found that there is a substance which is he named as an enteramine. But later on, it is confirmed that it is not an enteramine; it is just a 5-HT which is found previously discovered. It is also found in the CNS, and where it acts as a neurotransmitter, and in the peripheral region it acts as a platelet aggregator. In CNS it acts as a neurotransmitter, CNS neurotransmitter, and therefore it plays an important role in a migraine through the CNS as a neurotransmitter, carcinoid syndrome, depression, psychosis, and obesity. Uh, as this drug is found in the peripheral, not drug actually, the neurotransmitter or substance or autocoid we can say, it is found in the peripheral region as well as in the CNS region. It has developed a new therapeutic approach. So the 5-HT and their agonist and their antagonist has developed a new therapeutic approach for the management of various clinical conditions. As far as the sources of 5-HT is concerned, it is found in the human being. It is found in enterochromaffin cells of the gastrointestinal tract, platelet, and CNS. These are the three major sites where the 5-HT is found. It is also found in all over the region, but these are the principal sites out of it. It is also found in vertebrates, vertebrate animal, arthropods, fruits, and nuts. So it is widely distributed in nature. Vertebrate type of animals or insects like arthropods, fruits and nuts. So in animals and in plants, etc., they are found 5-HT as a found. It is also a component of venoms and stings. So whatever the toxic effect of the venom or stings they are found, the excess quantity of 5-HT is also found. So melatonin is a close analog of 5-HT. It is melatonin which is formed in pineal gland. It is a very close congener of the 5-hydroxytryptamine, which is this melatonin is responsible for pigmentation of a skin and the sleep rhythm. And this 5-HT also plays an important role and in the management of jet lag whenever the person is traveling from one place to the other. As far as the synthesis of this 5-hydroxytryptamine is concerned, it is synthesized from the amino acid tryptophan. Tryptophan is dehydroxylase and converted to 5-hydroxytryptamine. So here we can say the first tryptophan by the oxidation process, 5-hydroxyl-tryptamine it is converted into. Then in the second phase it is decarboxylated and converted into 5-HT, that is serotonin, stored in the secretory granules and then released by exocytosis from the serotonin neurons, and platelet acquires this 5-HT. As far as the metabolism of this 5-hydroxytryptamine is concerned, 5-HT is terminated by neuronal uptake. So it is metabolized as well as it is taken up and metabolized by oxidative deamination. Oxidative deamination is the pathway by which the 5-HT is metabolized, as well as its action is terminated by neuronal uptake. It will be taken up by the nerves which they have secreted. So then this deaminated product is acetaldehyde is further converted to 5-hydroxyindole acetic acid and then subsequently converted into alcohol and excreted out. Now next point is that 5-HT receptors. What are the different types of receptors through which this 5-HT act? Principally there are 5 families of the 5-HT. It is also known as 5-HT1, 5-HT2, 5-HT3, and fourth, not five, four families are there, and fourth family is 5-HT4 to 7. There is a group of family. It is grouped together, so the distribution is not so much. That for the fourth family comprises of the 5-HT4 to 7, 5, 6, 7, like this way. And this each group, that is 5-HT1, 5-HT2, or 5-HT3, they are again subdivided into A, B, C, D, E, F. So five sub group of this receptors are there, which is also comprises of A, B, C, D, like A, B, C, D. And depending upon their locations, these receptors also classified, or they are also termed as a musculotropic or neurotropic, whether they are present on the muscles, or they are present in the neuron or on the nerve. So it is also termed as D receptor or M type of receptor. 5-HT receptors are G protein coupled receptor. Except 5-HT3, they are all other 5-HT receptor are G protein, G coupled receptor. The action is mediated through the cell surface receptor, array of a cell surface. So there is an array of reactions which are taken place on the surface of the cell, and through which it takes place. So signal transduction, then activation, then inhibition of adenyl cyclase. This is the array which is it also mediates the action in CNS and the peripheral region. These receptors are widely distributed in the CNS as well as in the peripheral region. What are the actions of this? So if the 5-HT is secreted, serotonin is secreted, what it will give the biological action in our system? So as far as CV is concerned, it is giving you the different kind of actions, different level of actions, depending upon where they are acting. So arteries are contracted by the direct action of serotonin through the 5-HT2 receptor. So arteries comprises of 5-HT2 receptor, and the action of serotonin on the arteries will lead to the contractions. Uh, uh, Initially, there is a fall in blood pressure is observed whenever there is a decrease in heart rate due to cardiac output, due to the action of this serotonin on the heart. So on a heart, it causes the by the action of this serotonin on the heart, it decreases the heart rate and cardiac output, and by that way it lead to the fall in the blood pressure. Whereas followed by a rise in the blood pressure by the direct vasoconstriction action. So there is a arterial vasoconstriction which is leading to the vasoconstriction, and there will be rise in the blood pressure. Furthermore, it will also act in a fail in the blood pressure due to vasodilation action on the muscular vasculature. Depending upon its action on muscular vasculature, it causes the vasodilation. So depend upon where this serotonin is secreted. We are knowing that it is secreted in a particular region, and in a localized action it is giving. So if it is secreted in the region of the heart, it will lead to the fail in blood pressure. If it is secreted in the arterial region, then it will go for the rise in blood pressure. If it is near the muscular vasculatures of the capillary bed, then it will lead to the fail in blood pressure. So it causes the variation in the various type of responses as far as the cardiovascular system is concerned. So capillary venodilation is also there, which is also known as a flushing response. Now, the action of serotonin as far as the GIT is concerned, it increases the motility from stomach to the small intestine. To entire region of the stomach to the small intestine, it increases the motility. And this action is mediated through 5-HT2A receptor in the intestine and 5-HT2B receptor in the stomach. So 5-HT2 type of receptor, 2A type of receptor intestine, and 2B type of receptor the stomach. So due to that, it increases the motility. 5-HT3 receptors are also present on the enterochromaffin cells that also emesis the produces the emesis. So emesis response of the serotonin is mediated through the 5-HT3 receptor. Now the action on the CNS, this serotonin is found also in the CNS, therefore it also give the action in the CNS. So potent stimulant, it is a potent stimulant of the pain and itching sensation. It produces the pain sensation as well as the itching sensation. It also plays an important role in induction of sleep, cognition, sensory perception, motor activity, temperature regulation, mood, and appetite. So these are the various aspects of the brain which are governed by the serotonin. Serotonin, these all activities will be influenced, like influence in, so sleep will be enhanced, cognition will be enhanced, sensory perception will be enhanced, motor activity, temperature regulation. These all are elevated or influenced under the serotonin. So if there is an influence of the brain under the serotonin, these action influences we will experience. So all above actions are generally mediated by serotonin individual or in combination with noradrenaline and dopamine, alone itself or in combination with the adrenaline and dopamine. So it also plays a critical role in aggression, anxiety, and depression. Serotonin also playing a very critical role in CNS for the processes like aggression, anxiety, and depression. Okay, so as far as its actions of the serotonin on platelet, it facilitates the platelet aggregation and thrombus formation. So whatsoever intravascular thrombus formation or thrombus, so it is an autocoid which aggravate or it accelerate the aggregation of the platelets and thrombus formation. So associated with vasoconstriction actions. 5-HT agonist. Now these are the drugs which facilitate the release of serotonin, or they themselves act as a replacement of the serotonin. So 5-HT influencing agent, we can say an agonist. 5-HT plays an important role in the CNS, we are knowing, as well as in the peripheral tissue. But as such, this 5-HT agonist does not have much clinical applications, because if you see the CNS effect, CVS, so I think these actions we do not expect that they should activate. So normally they should play a physiological role rather than a pathological role over there. There are different types of analogs are there. They are busurpine or sumatriptan. So these there might be a few disorders where these sumatriptan or buspirone they can be used in the management of a migraine like vascular headache, neurological manifestations, and associated nausea and vomiting. These are the conditions where these are used. They are also used in acute attack and attack, as well as as a prophylactic agent. The action of these agents are mediated through 5-HT1B and 5-HT-D receptor. They inhibit the vasodilation, dilating peptides like substance P and neurogenic inflammatory substances produced around the blood vessel. So they inhibit the peptide like substance P, which is responsible for mainly the pain sensation. Now next category, and which is having the more clinical application rather than 5-HT agonist, 5-HT antagonist are playing a specific more role as an therapeutic agent. So they have the different actions like central action or peripheral actions. So different agents have the different kind of actions. Phenoxybenzamine, it has a long-acting 5-HT2 receptor blocking ability. It potentiates the alpha receptor also along with the 5-HT. Principally, they are 5-HT antagonists, but along with that, it also have a potent alpha receptor blocking activity. The second principal agent or main agent is ergot alkaloid. It is a partial agonist of the serotonin receptor. And the third most important is the cyproheptadine. It is also having the action on H1 receptor and the 5-HT2A receptor, 5-HT2A receptor, and is a weak anticholinergic action. So it has the triple action, we can say. It acts as an anticholinergic, it acts on histaminergic receptor, it acts on 5-HT receptor also. So cyproheptadine is little. We have also seen this cyproheptadine in anticholinergic. Sorry. Next is a ketanserin, which block the 5-HT2A and 5-HT2C receptor blocker at these sites. So anything which is mediated by these receptor can be blocked by the ketanserin. Next derivative, which is most popular as far as the clinical application is concerned, is the ondansetron and their derivative. They are specifically 5-HT3 receptor antagonist used in the treatment of nausea and vomiting, which is associated with the cancer chemotherapy. So cancer chemotherapy induced nausea and vomitings are specifically they are very well managed using this 5-HT3 receptor, ondansetron and their analogs. Clozapine is a 5-HT2A and 5-HT2 antagonist, 2C antagonist, and used in the treatment of the schizophrenia. So 5-HT receptor also plays in the CNS role and it manages the schizophrenia. Clozapine is the main agent. So among these all, ergot alkaloids is one of the most potent agent, or we can say a potential agent which is having the more therapeutic benefit. Definitely ondansetron, clozapine, ketanserin, these are also used, but most popular is the ergot alkaloid. So we will see regarding some more detail in about the ergot alkaloids. So these are the agonists at the dopaminergic receptor. Definitely they are antagonist of the serotonin, but they are agonist at the dopaminergic receptor and partial agonist at the alpha receptor. So these ergot alkaloids is having a mixed action, agonist at the dopaminergic, partial agonist at the alpha, and antagonist at the serotoninergic receptor. And serotonin is specifically 1A and 1D receptor. As far as the action of this ergot alkaloid on a CNS is concerned, it induces the hallucination and mania. CVS, it constrict the in the CVS it constrict the arteries and vein, and its action is prominent on the uterus. The action of this ergot alkaloid is prominent on uterus. Most pronounced effect on the uterus uh, of this ergot alkaloid is ergonovin. Ergonovin is the component from this ergot alkaloid which is giving you the promising action on the uterus. It directly stimulates the uterus smooth muscle and enhances and force of rhythm of the contraction of uterus. Directly the smooth muscles of the uterus is contracted. It enhances the force as well as the rate and rhythm of the contraction of uterus. As far as the clinical applications of ergot alkaloids are concerned, they are highly effective and specific for the migraine. Postpartum hemorrhage is well managed using the ergonovin. The postpartum hemorrhage is controlled using the ergonovin. The only thing is that it should be administered after the expulsion of a placenta. And the last one or the next category is hyperchloractemia. This is the pituitary tumor. So excessive release of prolactin is there, and due to that there is an excessive release of a prolactin due to this tumor, and which is can be well managed as by the substance which is called as a bromocriptine, which also block the D2 receptor and inhibit the prolactin release. Uh, then next clinical applications of the ergot alkaloid is sentile dementia. Dihydroxyergotoxin mesylate is indicated in the symptomatic treatment of age-related dementia. This is well managed. As far as the adverse effect of these ergot alkaloids are concerned, they are producing the nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Typically, a gastrointestinal side effect these are, and this is due to increased gastrointestinal motility, vasospasm, and they are likely to produce a gangrene in the limbs and intestinal organ. As far as the CNS side effect of ergot alkaloid is concerned, they produces the restlessness, depression, hallucination, retroperitoneal fibrosis, and fibrosis which are mediastinal type of. So these are the side effect of the ergot alkaloids. So this is all about the serotonin and 5-HT, serotonin or 5-HT. If you have any kind of a difficulty or doubt, you can contact directly me on the given number, or you can write me on the given email which is mentioned over here. So thank you very much. Thank you students. Thank you. Goodbye.